Well, it's Friday morning, and I need to turn the right camera on. There we go. It's time for more relaxing painting with dice and dungeons. And I'm here with a couple of dragonkin. This one I finished on Monday. I'm declaring it done. I think it turned out pretty well. Nice and shiny, kind of metallic dragonkin. This one is a blue dragonkin, you can tell by the blueness of it. And what I'll be doing today is finishing this one, I think. I could, I'm hoping to anyway, because, it's time to get on with things. So I'm going to be embellishing the armor. I decided I'm going to use like royal blue to paint some bands in the blue armor because it's pretty monochromatic. Then I'm going to use a really light blue in azure. Yes, it will be a relaxing flip. If you can see this one, how the edges of the shoulders and other armor is in a different color. I'm going to do the same thing with azure, and it's a lighter color, but I'm going to use that so that it contrasts with the speed paint blue skin that will eventually get put on here. So that's a couple of colors I'm going to be using, and then I've got to paint these bags and this belt, and then there's a collar, kind of an undershirt thing. I'm not sure what I'll do with that. I might just paint that the royal blue as well, or maybe, I don't know, maybe a different color. Let's see. Yeah, so today I'm going to be, to a large extent, hiding behind my head magnifiers, because both with and without the glasses I can't see the deep close enough to paint all the edges and things without failing. So I'll be pulling out some different colors and doing some color putting on, painting stuff and things like that, and then doing some touch up. And then probably about the last thing I'll do then is use this blue speed paint, which I haven't used before. I think it's a pretty nice color, and paint in all the dragon skin. So what shall we start with? A flip. We shall start with a flip. And I should be prepared for that, because, that's an integral part of the stream, is to get some flipping in. I'll just flip I'm going to flip this tube of contact cement. Yeah. Three, let's do 6. Or just flipping pretty nicely today. There we go. Much flipping. So get this guy out here. I'm going to paint the armor first. The banding on the armor. I want to see how that looks before I start painting the edges. Let's see if I can. Let's see if this brush works. This is a pretty good brush, and it might work for that. Get the paint to stern. And then this is starting early. Usually I can go on about something for maybe 20 minutes before I start painting. It hasn't even been 10 yet, and I'm already mixing paint on the vortex shaker thing here. I don't know if that's a good sign or not. Yeah, it is kind of weird. It's starting to paint right away. I do have to be a little concerned about that. And what is that going to mean for the rest of the stream? I hope this turns out okay. I'm not sure about these color combinations, but if we end up not liking it, we'll just reprime it and have Nicole do it. So now my head is magnified. You get to see this instead of me. I will do my best to try to keep this on camera. I have come to understand that that's an expected part of a stream. Your streaming can actually be seen on the stream. And it's just a rumor, at least, anyway. This brush is turning out to be too large for this. At least in terms of reaching into some of the more inaccessible areas. It's okay for most of it, but I'm gonna have to get out the smaller brush to be able to get in behind there. Now, if I'm gonna be doing all this painting and focusing on detail, chat about it very much. Not that I haven't had a good topic to lather on about for some time. I should apologize for that, or if you should be happy about it. It's been kind of a thing during this stream for me to go on and on about something just esoteric and inconsequential. So what do you think? Does that look okay? With the banding on it? Sure. What I am sure of is that I need to use the smaller brush to finish it. You know, I now have an idea. You just create. I'm sure this has been done, right? Because everything's been done on the internet at least 10 times. But what we can do is we can have a relaxing Dice and Dungeons stream. And although you didn't come here for streams to be on stream, there might be other people who would actually like to have streams on stream. And what we could do is we could go out. You could do this. I'm not saying we will. I'm just saying that it's a thing that it could possibly be done. Might advise against it, but we could do videos of streams. And we have several near us. We could get some without too much trouble. I said, that's one of our cats. I don't think that can be filtered out. That's very loud. That's a very loud cat call. So what we would do is get videos of streams, and then we could have, yep, exactly that, a stream. And although Nines wouldn't like that, yeah. Exactly that, Nines. We could get really meta, you know. What we could do is not just stream. We could stream people watching a stream of a stream. And that would give us a stream. To follow that through, you know how when you put two mirrors parallel to each other and you stand between them, you know, and then you look into one and you see an infinite self. We could do that with the stream. Is we could, I'm not saying we will do this. I'm not even saying it's remotely a good idea, but it's something we could do. Something we could do is just layer upon layer of a stream. Would be good. We could do that. We could have a stream, and we could feature all of our fans, our fans watching the stream. We have enough fans around that we could do that, I think, pretty well. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that dark blue on there just because it's a little more interesting than I think the just plain aquamarine, but I think it clashes. I'm looking at my color chart here. I could use blue-green, but that's actually kind of green. This is a blue dragonkin, not a green dragonkin. That's too green. So that will be what it is. Okay. I'm going to start painting the trim, the embellishment on the armor. And I said I'm going to use this azure. I'm not sure how that's going to look. The whole thing could just look pretty stupid. So I'm going to start with just a small amount of paint because I really don't know how this is going to turn out. And I think what I'll start with is start with these knees, the knees. There is a raised edge around them that's supposed to like delineate where the other color goes. More or less on it. Mess. The edge of the brush just went where it need not have been. That's why we do touch up on the paint, because when I do this with the little brush and the head magnifier and all, I'd say it gets like about 90% of adequate, which is, I'll remind you, is the objective here. Is adequacy. So I say, I get about 90% adequate, and then I do touch up. And after I do the touch up, I think I can claim close to 94% adequacy. I get into the low A. Just above A minus territory, maybe. Sometimes it's an A minus, sometimes it's a B plus. Sometimes I'll get lucky, like the brush will just go exactly where it's supposed to go and nowhere else. That is when it happens. Okay, celebrate that, but it is luck, not skill at that point. There. So that's what the knees look like when they've got the embellishment on them. I think I'll do these these shin guards here. So, if we did the stream, I know for sure one thing. I wonder how many, there must be like hundreds of streams of people painting their house. And then, of course, you know, somebody's going to, it'll always be staged. It won't be real. Somebody will stage falling off the ladder or spilling a bucket of paint somewhere. Because that way, you know, everybody will say, oh, look at this, it's so funny. Somebody's falling off a ladder. Isn't that funny? And then they'll get like tens of thousands of views. You know, if they were just painting the house, they'd get like a couple hundred views or something. But, you know, if they did something like they spilled a bucket of paint on their car or something, right? Someone would stage that. Just, they don't care about their car. Or maybe it's like a friend's car that they borrowed, right? Even that would be even better, of course. And then they spilled a bucket of paint on it. And then it would go viral. They would be the famous spilling paint on a car folks, and they'd attempt to monetize it. And, you know, they'd go like, patreon.com/spilling paint on a car. And they'd make like a couple $1,000 probably. And then everybody who cared to watch them spilling a bucket of paint on a car would have watched it, you know, a couple of times, and then they'd get together with their friends and they'd watch it again, and then they wouldn't care anymore. Because, like, how many times could you watch someone spilling a bucket of paint on somebody's car before you just get tired of watching it? Unlike relaxing painting with dice and dungeons or everything, you just never know what to expect. For example, you know, I haven't spilled the paint on any cars yet. If that were really a popular thing, you know, if people said, well, if you want to get 1 million views of your stream, what you need to do is spill paint on a car. I have like a car model. I could get a car model and a little, you know, one of these jars of paint like this, and go, oops, and spill it all over the car, and could claim that we spilled paint on a car. Then you could go to patreon.com/diceanddungeons and become a patron. Not because you liked relaxing painting, but because you were an aficionado of paint being spilled on car streams, videos. There might be that. I mean, there might be like this whole club, maybe even a cult. A cult would be really cool. People who spilled paint on cars. You know, that wouldn't be good, because that would be destructive, but they were a cult of people who watched videos of people spilling paint on cars. And maybe relaxing painting with dice and dungeons could tap into that. Could tap into that not cult, not people who watch those kinds of things. Or maybe we could just go back to the idea that we're discussing in chat, which is to have a stream. And I think a stream would be a lot more relaxing anyway. It would be truer to the idiom of relaxing painting with dice and dungeons. I think the azure actually looks pretty good against that turquoise. I wasn't sure when I picked the color. It is passing the test of adequacy. So I am achieving the allergies have been just amazing since they started the night before last. It was a really nice night outside. There's a little bit of a breeze. It was like in the low 70s. There wasn't much humidity. So I decided to sit out on the deck. I watched the twilight fade into darkness. There was just one firefly because it's been so dry. The fireflies aren't doing well this year. Hopefully, if we get some rain, they'll come out. But it actually happened while I was just sitting out there. Suddenly, the air just almost became toxic. I just started coughing and sneezing. So it was like something came through that brought with it sort of irritant, if not allergen. I don't think it was the wildfires. I don't think that we're getting much wildfire smoke here from the disasters up in Canada. It's really awful what's happening there. I don't think it was that, but whatever it was it got me so I could hardly breathe all of a sudden. And it has kept up the last couple of days. I keep washing this off because the paint builds up on the bristles. See on the back, there's these little bits here. There isn't much embellishment on the back. There's kind of a band across there, but it's just the back. I'm not going to mess with it. Okay, let's do the wristbands here. Yeah, it's sort of on. I should probably bring the camera down some. I wonder if I can do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Still to try to keep it on camera. But you might have, you might see that something's going on if I do bring it down. It's not like the camera's in the way of the top of my head that's a real problem. I want to paint all these embellishments as well as I can. Okay, and then I'm going to go back with the the turquoise armor color and do some touching up to even out lines, that kind of thing. I have to decide. I had some idea of what I might do with the bags. I was going to paint those a darker blue color with like silver buckles. One thing I'm pretty sure of, even I wasn't sure if this azure color was going to work for the embellishments on the armor, but I think it's doing okay, and I think it will complement, not clash with the body color. This one's going to need some turquoise touching up around there. But I don't like how the dark blue, I don't like how the dark blue banding turned out on armor. I'm going to paint over that when I do the turquoise touch-up. I'm going to paint over that and try something else. Maybe I'll do some like edging with this azure color instead, but it did not turn out at all like I was kind of hoping it would. Whoa, that went badly. That whole thing that was like D+ work. Entirely sure what happened there, but what I do know is that the result was not acceptable. Oh, and I had the line really well defined, and as I brought up the brush, boom. Nice. Nicely done. At least I can say I'm giving me opportunities to do paint touch-up there on the shoulder. There's many opportunities for improvement there. Wow. Okay. This is suddenly just all gone to Hades. Can I say gone to hell here? Will that fit our relaxing painting idiom demographic? Despite my best efforts, the painting of the shoulder embellishments has gone to hell. It has gone badly. It is making a mess. It is going to require a good deal of reconstructive touch-up painting. Good thing that turquoise paint covers nicely, because there is a good deal of recovering in every sense of the word. Recovering from the mess that I made of that shoulder. Very poorly done. Yeah, so if we can continue to see this poor quality of execution of relaxing painting, that continues, it might be replaced with a stream. And not just because that's what I wanted to do, but because it's the only way to. Anyway, I might just have to be replaced with a stream if I continue that poor quality of painting. But you know, I have to bring the turquoise paint out anyway to get rid of those dark bands that I put on that didn't work out. And so, yeah, why not? Why not take the opportunity to do a lot of touch-up? Hopefully the application of the touch-up will go better than the application of the embellishment. Yeah. So on the other one, I did the edges of this triangle thing, and that turned out to look okay. So I'm going to do it on this one as well. Was one of those, that last one right along there. Remember when I was saying that if I got an A for something, it was luck? That one was luck. I'll take it. Okay. So I'm going to paint over this dark blue because it didn't turn out. It looks really crappy. But I am gonna use the dark blue for the collar. Tucked underneath here, between the skin and the armor, is a cloth collar. So I'm gonna use it for that, and for a couple of the bags. probably the larger bags, and then the smaller bags are going to be a really dark blue, almost gray blue. Now I'm just going to look at the little edging embellishments that I did to see if I want any more azure paint on any of it. Can I do that? Yeah, I did. I painted the center, the contrasting color, but I can't do that because I have to paint over. These dark blue spots. This dark blue paint dried up yet? Yeah, I got out way too much, and now there's just this big blot of unusable dark paint. I'm going to take a little stretch here because my back is hurting. Got a new short, yeah. I don't know. People don't call me, well, at least since I've been retired. I do get calls occasionally from, like, this is your dentist reminding you that you have an appointment. It's a robocall, right? You have an appointment on such and such. If you are not able to attend, please push 3. If you are, push 1. And of course, I didn't pick it up when it happened, and so all I did was get the message, and it doesn't make any sense to push buttons in response to a message. And then I get spam calls. Oftentimes there's no one even there. There's nothing there at all. Okay, so I'm going to use this turquoise paint for 2 things. One is to paint over the dark blue that I put on that looks bad. I'll have to think of something else. I'll do something else with it to make it look, not too monochromatic. And the other is to do a whole bunch of touch-up in places where I messed up, where I was putting the azure embellishment on. I'm going to do the touching up first. And all sorts of loud drinking noises. Sorry about that. Slurpy, slurpy. I've said on this show, stream many times, I'm not a terribly skilled painter or model builder, so when you see me painting and building models, you're not seeing a master craftsperson, that's for sure. I have said that my skill is largely confined to being able to paint, between the lines, like with crayons. Kids are always admonished, you should color within the lines, thereby beating any sense of creativity out of kids when they're still like 4 years old or something, right? Well, I have said that I'm fairly good at keeping the paint between the lines, but today I managed to demonstrate that even that was not entirely true. Some of this, it was like almost borderline lying. Yeah. So it's one of those things, where it takes like 105% of my concentration just to get the paintbrush in the right spot to touch up the shoulder pad. Well, there. It's better. To that shin guard that never got painted at all. Ooh. Okay. On the other one, I painted the hilt and guards and pommel of the sword the same color as the armor, so this is going to be painted the azure and the turquoise. And I think in the guard and the turquoise, kind of like the reverse of the armor. These kind of raised bits here. He's trying to see where the different bits of the sword are here. There's a thumb there, and then there's a point. Yeah, and I should have, when I had the Azure paint out, I should have painted the hilt, you know, that color. So I'll have to bring it out again to do that. It was one of those, yeah, it wasn't. Being efficient. Guess that'll do. Looking around for more opportunities for touching up. So if you watch this with some regularity, you know that occasionally Nicole will for a reason, and she will do things twice as fast and twice the quality. Is pretty amazing. She's very skilled and artistic. But I'm more available for this sort of thing, and so I get to do it more often. And I do things like this that would end up being on our D&D stream. These aren't display models. They're not like going on a shelf or something like that. Yeah. So, aiming for adequately. We want it to look good on the stream, on the D&D stream. That's the kind of aim going for. Is they look like good enough so when you're looking at them from a distance, as you are. Not through a magnifier, but if you're looking at them, I have to do an alcohol bath on that. If you're looking at them from some distance, like during the stream, just making this dark blue go away because it did not work. It failed as a fashion statement. I'm going to have to think of some other way of making these large areas of the armor look somewhat interesting. I am going to use that dark blue though for a couple of these bags. With a belt up behind here too, that maybe I could use it for that. So I'm gonna have to let this dry now before I can do too terribly much more. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna leave the legs alone. I think the leg armor, if it's kind of boring like that, it's okay. Up here, there's the azure goes down the center, and I might do it up around the top as well, like a big Y. Okay. Let that dry for a bit. And take these off because they're not the most comfortable thing in the world. To clean these brushes. They just hold a lot of paint, which is nice because, you can, it's good. Holding paint is good when you're spreading it around, but not so good when you're trying to clean it. Okay, this is about ready to be tossed. Oogie Boogie's place. That who? Get it right? Did I win? Just coming off, but it looks like they're like permanently stained turquoise here. so much paint in the bristles. Okay, well, I think those are clean enough now. What I need to do is mess up the brush. Okay, so I'm going to use the Asher paint once this dries to paint an embellishment down the center here and across the top. There's a belt and some bags, and those need to be painted. And then there's this collar that goes around here. And I was thinking the belt and the bags, that dark blue will work fine. I'm going to paint the belt and the two large bags, that dark blue that used to be here. And then I've got a really, really dark blue that'll go on the smaller bags. But the collar, no, I don't want it that color. I'm just really not sure. I wish it wasn't there, okay? There's just this cloth piece under the armor around the neck. And it shows, and it's obvious what it is, so I can't ignore it. Okay, I'm actually going to use the really, really dark blue that I'm going to be using for the bags, these inner bags. I'm going to put it there. It's so dark it'll be neutral. We go back to this dark blue. This dark blue that was kind of offensive. It didn't work. What I'm going to be painting is the belt and the larger of the bags. Painting right over the buckle, because I'm going to be painting at the silver color, the buckle and the little buckles on the bags. I wonder if I paint the belt on this one. No, I didn't bother painting the belt. Okay. No one's going to care that the belt doesn't show on the back. So this didn't work at all as a contrasting color on the armor. But it works okay for the bags because they're just bags. They're kind of off to the side. And then these two smaller bags closer to the center. That really dark blue, almost black, blue-gray color. And I think that'll look good there. And they've got these little buckles on them, and I'll be putting just a touch of silver on it. And probably the same color as the blade of the sword. And just a little touch of silver where the buckle is. So I'll be getting the Azure paint out next. This will dry because I have to paint next to it. These darker bags end up here. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to get the dark out because I need to paint the collar. Okay. And then I might have to be doing touch-up around it. Get the collar painted so that it can dry so I can do touching up. I'm going to have to buy another one of these soon. The bristles are starting to... I'm down to like 2 bristles, right? Which is okay for some things, but... Okay, yeah, I said I was going to use this. That collar is a real pain to paint. It's just up around the inside. It's really annoying. I'm going to be pretty quiet and annoyed as I paint this fabric collar. And it's got this rough, it's fabric, so it's designed and printed. It goes behind the sword. Almost spilled the paint. Like we were talking about. Trying to get up to 1 million views, the only way to do that is spill paint on a cover. Almost spilled the jar of paint all over the work surface. Not in a purposeful and cheap attempt to get viewers, but just being clumsy. Oh my, oh my, oh my. That was my way of saying at least it went on the azure, which is the color that I'm going to be pulling out next as I finish the embellishment on the front and along the top. Too bad along the blue. Okay, well, that'll do. And paint these bags. These bags are going to be this color. Having the paint out of the bottle cap because why waste it? It starts to form a little bit of a skin. It doesn't take much evaporation to change the texture of the paint. I think the dark color works pretty well because it separates the blue from the rest of it. So I need to paint the buckle and then these little clasps. So I'll be doing that in kind of a silver color. These days. Moved out of here. Oh, the wash water has turned a really pretty shade of blue. Yeah. Gray on the monitor, but it's like swimming pool blue. Okay. So with the azure paint, and I'll probably need to get the turquoise out again to do more touch-up, is I want to paint a line down the center here. If I had paint on my brush, that would have gone really well. And then up along the collar, and there's like an embellishment. And I think that will make it look interesting enough that it won't look boring. Let's see if I can pull this off. At the same time, I'm going to paint the hilt of the sword. In fact, I might do that first. Otherwise, I'll forget. And then I'll have to come back out again and play with the paint some more. So squeeze out yet some more of this azure paint. Getting kind of gummy. the sword hilt, and then the embellishment on the chest piece. Painting this the same color as the armor, because that's what I did on the other one. So I'm just going to keep that up with all of these. All of these dragonkin is to keep the color scheme consistent between the armor and the sword. After I'm done with the azure, depending on how much turquoise touching up I will need to do after that, there may be a lot, there may be none, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. I will be taking a break. Hopefully the break will be a little earlier than usual. Hopefully in the sense that this will go quickly and not take a half hour. Okay, if it takes a half hour, then it'll be not earlier than usual. Yeah, there's that bit. See? And then I'm going to come back and probably do the sword blade and the buckles, a little bit of silver. Bit. And I think it doesn't show that much. And then there's kind of a ridge right here that I can go right along the ridge. Got a little shaky. I'm gonna have to touch that up to refine the line a little bit, but that's where I wanted it. Yeah, that one went badly. My hand was not steady for that. Okay, I mean, you can get the idea of what I was aiming for, but my aim was not true. And the execution did not match. I'm gonna have to get the turquoise paint out again. Do a lot of touching up here. Might be some give and take. Hopefully the turquoise I'll be able to get. Anyway, we'll see. But that is sort of what I was aiming for, but it didn't come out very well. Okay. That has to dry, and I'm going to take a short break here, a little bit early, I know, but blood sugar is starting to drop, so I think I need a snack and a little bit of coffee, and then I'll come back and fix this, which is actually kind of a, that looks good on there. I just need to fix it. Get the sword blade done, and then get the speed paint out and speedily paint all the gray areas, which is the skin of the dragonkin. So if you all can come back, I would say around noon, that would be good. I will continue then. Thanks for watching so far with relaxing painting with dice and dungeons, and we'll have yet more painting. And I can't promise too much relaxation, but I will promise painting of the blue dragonkin. And if this goes okay, I'll move on to another color. I don't know, maybe red. See you in about half an hour. Oh, the music wasn't playing. Great. Well, that's the end of that break. Let's get the camera on. There we go. Here's the camera focusing on something. Yeah, music's playing. Okay. That's different. So what I need to do next is fix this, because that conceptually, it's a good thing to do, but in terms of execution, it came out very poorly. So I'm going to get out some of the turquoise paint yet again. All nicely dried over break. And then I'm going to paint the belt buckle and the sword blade. And then speed paint. I'm going to speed paint the dragonkin's skin. And I hope it works well. We'll find out. And then, oh yeah, I almost forgot. They've got these horns and claws, and those need to be painted. And then washed. Okay, we'll see how this goes. I'm not entirely sure, because my hand was not behaving well, and it's not very steady. As I painted these stripes on the chest piece here, so as I try to fix them, let's just hope that this goes better than the original. Trying to accomplish even line. I had too much paint on the brush. And then I accomplished the opposite of what I was attempting to do. This is really pretty close. But now I need to come back with a touch of Azure paint to touch up these bits. Otherwise, yeah. So it's a little, what I'm having to do is some back and forth here. Yeah. Got this drainage going on that you'll have to excuse me. Just it causes me to kind of cough. Okay, well, that went kind of poorly actually. So we'll just have to retouch the retouch. I'm going to use some of this chainmail silver. And I'm doing the belt buckle, the clasps on the pouches, and then the sword blade. Just going to be sniffling and snuffling like constantly here. What about that? Not much I can do about it. Okay, so I'll get the bits of the sword blade that are hard to reach, and then use a little larger brush to get the rest of it. One thing I did, I'm going to try it on this one too, is like the bloodline thing. The blood channel, I guess it's called. And so I actually used one of the armor colors and ran it down the center of that. It's kind of an embellishment line. I might try to do that. I'm not sure. Excuse me. Actually, a little bit of plastic on here I didn't notice before. That was not part of the design. That was just an extra bit. Just going to be sniffing the whole time. Sorry about that. But yeah, so it's really warm outside, but it's chilly down here. Plus the allergy thing that's going on. Results in And I didn't get it all off. See what happened. It flipped up and I thought it broke off, but it didn't. There, now it's gone. You sleep. Good. Really big chunk. I'm surprised I hadn't noticed it before. That's an hint. Hint. It would be time to retire that bottle. Like there's grit in it. Had the Asher paint out to fix that, and then it's still wet. No, I missed the big flaw in the back here. Painted the collar. I'd gotten it that dark gray over here. Okay, so what I need to do is fix this is Asher. I got the right color out at the right time by accident. Okay, I think that kind of T design on the armor, I think that came out okay. It doesn't look as bland, blah, as it did before, blah. The official painting term, blah. You don't want things to look blah. You want things to look nice. And things like that. Anyway. Yeah. I had a snack. I thought that would pop my blood sugar up, but it It apparently hasn't. So I'm going to drink some coffee, post-lunch coffee, and we'll see if that helps. Yeah, anyway, let's talk about this guy. So, yeah, the blue armor is okay. I think that color combination worked out. That dark blue kind of striping on the armor did not. That was a bad idea. But doing the Y thing up there looks okay, and the legs, who cares? It's, it's all right. There's not much going on in the back, but, it's the back. Now I need to apply speed paint to all of the gray areas. The gray areas are the dragon skin. And I need to do that without messing up the armor all over the place. So I'm going to be using... I'm going to use this brush as much as I can because it gives better area. But then there are certain places, like up under here and under there and so on, you just can't reach with that brush without touching everything else. So I'm actually going to have to be speed painting with this little bitty brush. Or maybe what I'll do, there's this really fine tipped one, is I can get little bits of the paint on the tip. Maybe I'll try to use this. What's the other one like? The other one's kind of beat up. Maybe I'll try this one. I think I can use it to get into the little nooks and crannies. It's really soft bristled. It'll hold paint. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this brush with the speed paint and just see how it goes. It's sort of a compromise between the other two brushes. I can use this larger one, like maybe on the tail, depending on how this one works. If I keep putting it off, it's never going to happen. So it's now going to get shaked well. Yeah, anyway, the chat hasn't been very good today. I have to apologize for that. We talked about doing a stream. That was kind of that. I'm not feeling very, creative today. I can't even think of fun topics to talk about. Like what I talk about today. It's like when the only thing that comes to your mind is Yogi Bear, it's kind of sad. Yogi Bear was a cartoon that managed, a lot of them, it managed to have the same plot over and over and over and over and over again. It was like the same cartoon, just played hundreds of times. It was because he was always in the Ranger's hair, and that was it. Picnic baskets, hey boo boo. Said 5 different things. That was it. Okay, I'm going to start putting this on, and we'll see what happens. I'm going to start with a foot. Yeah, this brush isn't very good for this. It's too soft. This demands a brush with better bristles. Harder bristles. So give up on this. This one. So all just came apart. Okay, I'm not having very good brush luck here. I'm having actually quite bad brush luck. Nice color anyway. I'm going to have to abandon this brush as well. Pretty quickly, actually. Brush nor the paint any good here. Hey, it's bad. Let's see what else I've got to work with. Or this one. I think, the speed paint just doesn't work unless you're moving it more quickly, and I can't because this areas to be painted are so small. Just nothing's working. Go with the teeny little brush here. Just to get it into the spaces where it needs to go. It's bad. It's too much on the brush. It just made a mess, just a huge mess. It's going to be hard to touch up too, because the speed paint has this tendency to dissolve in the other paints. So if you try to touch up over it, it like dissolves into the paint you're using for the touch-up. think this was meant your surfaces. Like it's awful, but I don't think it's the right thing for this job. It's looking okay. With this, other than the places where I have to do some serious touching up. This is not. I don't think this was designed for this kind of brush, but I can't get enough control with any of the others to get it where I need it to go with any kind of precision. So it is what it is. What you're getting is the very slow application of speed paint, the not speedy version. That comes with having to spread it around with great precision. I'm sitting here doing this with great precision, right? And all I can do is have the Yogi Bear theme song playing over in my head. Why did I even mention Yogi Bear? Bear is smarter. Maybe if I say it out loud, it'll go away. What do you think? Yogi Bear is smarter than the average bear. Yogi Bear is always in the ranger's hair. Have a picnic basket, you will find him there. Yogi Bear is smarter than the average bear. You have to go right back to where it was because I couldn't think of anything else to rhyme other than smarter than the average bear. Well, that helped a little bit. I mean, not in terms of the painting, but in terms of getting the song. Doesn't keep playing over and over. Keep listening to that, particularly. At least you only had to hear it once. That was good. This is a pretty good color anyway. I'm not sure it's having the effect that it should in terms of highlighting the scaly pattern on the skin, for example, because it's just going on with this little bitty brush and so slowly. There, it was working pretty well. Well, I'm getting most of it done anyway. We'll have to see how much touch-up is needed after I'm finished. We'll go back around and take a look. The feet again a little bit later. The head is important. Crags and crevices and stuff on here. I'm gonna not paint those horns as much as I can avoid it. Yeah, as the sniffling continues. Apologize again for that. This bitty brush is certainly getting a lot of use and abuse recently. See, it's supposed to work like that, like it's working on the back of its head here. Darker pigment kind of flows into the crevices. Well, something worse has happened now. The Yogi Bear theme playing in my head has been replaced by, this is terrible, Mr. Ed. Mr. Ed theme song. Back in the day, every TV show, including the cartoons and whatever, had these theme songs, right? And they were meant to be catchy tunes because then you'd remember them and sing them to yourself when you were doing relaxing painting. Something or some such thing. Yeah, so sometimes you're just cursed with that. Like I am being cursed with the Mr. Ed song right now. Fun. I have been able to spare you from going through the lyrics and continuing to resist. Let's hope it continues until the end of the stream. Distance, that is. To these feet again. It looks like most of what touch-up needs to be done will be the azure, which isn't surprising because the skin comes in contact with the armbands and stuff. There, so I'll get the azure paint out and do a lot of those touchings up. Those need to sit for a while. This paint needs to dry. I do need to do the horns and the nails on the feet. That has to wait for this to dry as well. So I'm just looking to see if I missed any spots. There shouldn't be any gray spots other than the horns, like sticking out. Going, oh, you missed a spot. Shouting out like that. Okay, so I'm going to clean these brushes thoroughly. As much as I can. And then we're going to go to the color chart. So we're going to look for red. I have some red speed paint, and despite my experience here with this, that's what I'm going to be using on the red dragonkin as well. Not the same blue, but the speed paint. Take this off for a moment. Turn the light off, save the battery. Hello, Brogger. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to chat because I was so focused on getting these. These are dragonkin, apparently. This is the one I did. This is the one I did Monday. Great, I'm still glad I didn't miss you. This is the one I did Monday. This is supposed to be like a bronze dragonkin. And this is a blue dragonkin. Okay, I'm getting close to being done. I need to do some touching up, where I got the dark blue speed paint on the edges there, the highlights on the armor. And then I need to paint the horns. I painted these horns. I might paint these guys gray. I think the gray would look better against the blue than the cream color. Thanks. Yeah, I really like the way the metallics came out. Okay, yeah, this is bronze paint with gold embellishments, and the skin is brass with a yellow speed paint on it. And that actually came out really quite well, I think. I think that came out all right. So I'm kind of happy with this one. The blue guy, if we use them in our stream, it's going to look fine. Now I'm going to basically be using the same scheme of a base color with the same embellishments in the same places. A little different on the bags just to highlight them. I'm going to be using that on all 5 of them. There's blue. What's the families? Blue, red, green, black, and bronze, I think, are the standard ones. And so I'm going to do red next. What I'm thinking I might do with the red is if I can find, I have this really nice dark scarlet red that I'm going to use for the embellishments instead. So it's going to be dark embellishments on a lighter armor. But I need to look through my reds to see what I've got. I don't have very many red options. And despite what who would say, I'm not going to do the armor in pink. I mean, I could do that, right? I could do, let me leave it on camera. I could do the armor in pink with red embellishments. But I am pretty sure that that would be wrong. I think that would just be wrong. It was really wrong. Where was I? Yeah, I was cleaning brushes. So I need to go to my color charts, and I can get a red one started. This has to dry before I can do the final touching up and do the horns and the claws. So while it's drying, I could go on about Yogi Bear and Mr. Ed, because those are the two things that seem to have come to mind today. It's been that kind of day when the only entertaining thing I can think of is Yogi Bear and Mr. Ed. Horse is a horse, of course, and no one can talk to a horse, of course. That is, of course, unless the horse is the famous Mr. Ed. You know, people yakety yak all day and waste your time away. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. Well, you know, what does that mean, right? If you're speaking, you're saying something. So it's true of everybody all the time. You never say anything unless you have unless you have something to say. It might not be worth saying. I mean, there's that. It might not be worth the air that's moving to say it. But no one says anything unless they have something to say. So that lyric was dumb. And who am I to make judgments about the meaningfulness of lyrics of old theme songs? But you can go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you an answer that you'll endorse, because you're always on a steady course. Talk with Mr. Ed. There, I got that out of the way. Really? You know, you're almost going to talk me into doing that. Seriously, for the red dragon? The red dragonkin? Okay, I am going to do this. I am going to actually do this. It's probably wrong. I mean, I think this is going to be a very, very wrong thing. But I am going to, for the red dragonkin, I'm going to use pink as the main color. Yep. Now I just need to find the right color. I think just plain red. Yep. With just that. So if you're looking at this, imagine reversing the light in the dark. So the turquoise blue is pink, and the azure, the light blue color, is just going to be red. Not the really dark red, but just red. Why not? I mean, what, really, seriously, why not? There it is. Yep. I mean, we're going to have this guy, you know, all this really wonderful brass, bronze armor, you know, just looking like that. You got this guy who's pretty blue. I mean, all right, that blue theme is really coming through here. And then The red dragonkin just lost all sensibility of sensibilityness. Make it a right-handed dragonkin. This could really turn out to be just interesting, I guess. Just some cat hair nestled up there. This guy's got a little frill in the back. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So those are actually going to become the colors. The red dragonkin just lost the hilt of its sword. That has happened before. I have been trying to take off a little piece of extra molding and managed to just break it off. So I'm going to have to make a new one if I can't find it. We'll get a replacement dragonkin. At the moment is not broken. At least not yet. I thought I heard it fly over here somewhere. I don't think it fell. Well, I'm pretty good at making things out of toothpicks, and I can replace that hilt, I think, pretty easily. But it was pretty annoying having that break off like that. Yeah. So what you're going to see now, this blue is... Oh, thanks for joining in, old Brogger, and thanks for seconding the decision to make the red dragonkin pink. Without you, it never would have happened. I'm knocking stuff over because I didn't put things away. Okay. Yeah, it's only about 1, so I can get this base coat on. If we're gonna do this dragonkin thing, let's just get it done. If it's going to be pink with red embellishments, let's make it happen. You will see the pink armor on Monday. So this is pretty much just getting the base coat of the armor on. I can use a slightly larger brush like I did last time because the armbands and things, they get an embellishment around the edges, and so I don't want to get the pink much onto places where it isn't going to be pink, but the red will cover at the edges. The important thing for me here is to get it up to, but not over the edge. This is obviously going to be a paladin dragonkin. The red dragonkin. afraid that this might look pretty decent with the red piping and the dark red dragon skin. It's just, well, there must be some way when the bristles start wandering off like that, they're losing their coherence, so to speak. There must be some way of restoring that brush. Because they're fairly expensive brushes, and it really is a good one. It's a nice angled brush that holds the paint well. But now the bristles are just, they've lost their coherence. Sticking out in different directions and stuff. What am I doing holding this in my hand? That is so dumb. Replace it here. Let's see if I can get this off without breaking it. This one, much better. So I have some good red colors I can use for the bags when it comes time to do that. See, like these bristles on this side that just decided to go wandering off. Oh yeah, sorry I got a little quiet there as I just trying to get this paint into the places where it needs to go without getting it too terribly much on the places where it shouldn't. And I've been just only moderately successful at that at the moment. Weird, the color on this one is different than the others. It's like this raised collar that goes around. It'll be a little bit more challenging to paint, I think. No, there is. The surface area didn't look so large when it was metallic or blue, but when it's pink, there's a lot of it. We're going to be counting on that red pinstriping. A significant degree here. The bristles on this brush just like have totally given up coherence. Like, why do they bend away but they don't bend back? Saying is as they splay out, see, like they fan out everywhere, right? But they don't come back to a nice fine point like when it was new. I'm not quite sure what the problem is there. They decide to curl. Yeah, it's going to be. You're going to see that coming out of the darkness. I get it all base coated. Okay, now I'm going to see what I can do to salvage this brush. Wow, it just got really mangled. Pushing the bristles back together. Okay, well, I need to straighten up a little bit here. I got all hunched over and it hurts. All right. That's not awful. I need to do some touching up on the other guy. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. You have to pardon me for the snuffling and everything today. Just, I'm looking at my red color charts here. And I'm just thinking, just the plain Tamiya red is what I'll end up using. So I need to get back to the vermilion here, because there's places where I need to touch up. And then I'm going to get some gray and paint the toe claws and the horns. This on here. There was a time when I could paint these minis and not have to wear this. Actually, that wasn't true. What I had was this round, it was a big round magnifying glass, about this big, with a fluorescent ring light around it. And what I did was I looked through that. Okay, so where are these? Oh, I got stuff on here. Oh, there's some vermilion. There's some aquamarine as well as vermilion issues. Or it's not vermilion. What am I saying? It's azure. I was looking at the color chart with different reds. That was vermilion, and suddenly that's just stuck in my head. Things are sticking in my head today. There's a few aquamarine spots too, though, that are going to have to be touched up. I'm just noticing a few. That was not good. Let me see if I can just get a touch of it. Stays for a good long time. So once again, the aim here is to get adequateness. Bring Azure touch up to the point of adequateness. Especially since these things are going to be like shown on a stream at a fair distance. There's a little spot under the arm there that never got painted at all. I'm going to declare that invisible to the viewer. The bug bladder beast of thrall. If you can't see it, it can't see you. So how do you escape? You put a towel over your head, and then you can't see it, and it gets confused because if you can't see it, it can't see you. You're not familiar with the bug bladder beast of thrall, then you should find out about it, because it's a classic. Okay, well, I need to do some turquoise touching up, and I will do that after I do the toes and the horns, because the Azure needs to dry first. If I should do those really dark. Yeah, I'm going to do them in dark because this is the same color as the base is going to be. There's been a lot of back and forth on this one, more than usual. Touching and retouching and retouching and touching and retouching. It's been kind of a pain. Yeah, my monologues the last couple of times haven't been very interesting. You know, it's understandable on Submarine Wednesday when I'm trying to describe what's happening, because there's always something happening with a model that's so poorly molded. But usually during these streams, I'm able to go on about something other than the Yogi Bear theme. Probably the only good thing I can say is I haven't resorted to like things like my mother the car, right? At least it hasn't gone that bad. But I probably need to apologize for the lack of any interesting monologue today. Sure. To spend the weekend trying to think of things that historical curiosities maybe could look up. I don't know, it might be kind of interesting. On Monday, I'm going to talk about growing up in the 60s, the era of duck and cover. I'm not going to spoil it now, but talk about what it's like. What it was like when the threat of nuclear warfare was taken a lot more seriously than it is now. And the primary launch vehicles were still manned bombers, not missiles. And how things changed when missiles came along. Anyway, yeah. If I remember, I can talk about my friend the Atom, your friend the Atom. Little atom guy. Not Atom, but Atom. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about 1960s nukes. And living with 1960s nukes and the promise of atomic power. Yeah, that kind of stuff. That'll be fun. We haven't talked about nuclear Armageddon yet. Quite a while. I think one time or another, I seem to recall. But I did have a monologue about, the end of the world. Is it going to be a gamma ray burst? Is it just going to be a massive solar flare? South. And then we'll lose our radiation protection, our electromagnetic shield, and we'll have to live in caves, otherwise the radiation will burn us. I don't know. But could talk about Armageddon. That could be interesting. What did I do? I needed to do some turquoise touch-up yet. I'm not sure. I'll just have to look all over the thing again, because I know that there were some spots that needed this. I just have to find them. They're just basically just tiny little dots like that. Where these came from. Really like to find a hilt of the sword that I broke off, but I don't have to make a new one. Not that I can't, it's just that I would prefer not to. Making replacement parts out of toothpicks is pretty simple. I'm sure there was something more with this color. It's a spot. what you want to do is avoid what's happening here, which is touching and retouching the same spot over and over again, because then the paint starts to build up and you don't have a nice flat surface to work with, and then it's harder and harder to get the paint to go exactly where you want it, because you're painting to or over a rough surface, an uneven surface. So it's hard to get an even line on an uneven surface. So don't do that if you can avoid it. Okay, I'm going to say that unless I see something really glaring somewhere, and I'm not at the moment, that this guy, other than maybe a little bit of shading on the horns, what I'm going to do is take this color that I wasn't going to use, to try to dry brush on these horns. With just a lighter shade of gray. Yeah, it isn't much, but I think it helps to have it just be a tiny bit lighter. Right on the tips of the horns here. Yeah, I'm just going to keep this color out, actually, because this is the color to be used for the base. So why not? Let's get this going. We'll paint around the feet with the bitty brush here, and then get a bigger brush and finish it off. And then we can begin to anticipate a monologue on Monday. Be working on the red dragon, which is now very here. Just keep it on camera, which is quite pink at the moment. Be working on that on Monday. But I think this will dry enough. Yeah, this will be dry enough that I'll be able to put the black wash on it, the dark gray wash. And the blue one will be finished as well as the metallic one. So I'll have 2 of the 5 dragonkin done. It was not possible to both get the brush in there and keep the model in focus at the same time. That was fun. Oh, damn. Say that at least once, I think, in each stream. I got gray paint on the heel, so I'm going to have to bring out the... let it dry just a bit. That was the speed paint, which is probably still wet. I'll just use this a little brush, and I just need to touch it with a dot, just to cover it. It was just hard to reach under there, and the brush caught it. This, and then get a little larger brush and finish painting the gray. Gray is close to the same color as the primer, so it's sometimes hard to see. And I don't need to have it very even, because I want it to look, when I get the dark gray wash on it, I'm going to try to make it look rough and blobby. Not quite stone-like, but not, also not uniform. Yeah. Blue again. There's a spot that never got painted. That's what the speed paint is supposed to do. You can see it there, the detail there, how it filled in the scaly pattern. So I'd say it was, it was a pretty good success. Successful use of that. Be using the red on the red one. And be using the green on the green one. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing for the black dragonkin. Some sort of gray, probably. Hadn't gotten paint on my hands until right at the end, then I started touching the base. Nice. Just that much. There's a good chance that with this brush and it being late in the stream and the blood sugar being low, that things could go wrong. So let us stop and call it well enough. Okay. So what I need to do yet is put some black wash on that. What I really need to do is find the hilt. It is so annoying. I was trying to clean off a piece of something, a molding flaw. Not a molding flaw, a printing flaw. And just put the hilt right off. Broke it right off. All done. Because there are just little bits of excess plastic. And this stuff is kind of brittle. The PLA is not that brittle. But the rosin printer printing stuff is pretty brittle. And it brittled itself right off. I'm not going to cut that off. I'm going to use a file on it. This guy might be one of the last ones done. The hilt can be replaced. I can make a new one. In fact, I might work on that sooner than later. But it's just like, why? Why did it have to pop off? And why did it sound like clunk? Like it just landed here like on one of the paper towels? And then it didn't? It's just not very nice. I am getting the brush for a little bit of its coherence. I'm going to just use this brush with the wash, the dark gray wash on the base. The base is still a little bit wet. So what I'm going to do is start on this anyway. Not sure how far I can come far. No, this is the gloss. Okay, I don't want that. I want this one. I'm going to start painting some of the embellishment on the pink, on the red armor, and starting to get curious about how this is going to look. So I'm going to spend, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes doing that. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about Dice and Dungeons. Yeah, I think I can talk about Dice and Dungeons while I'm stirring paint. You think I could do that, right? That I could hold this on the vibrating thing and talk at the same time? One would think I'd be capable of pulling that off. One would be wrong. I thought for sure I put one of those little ball bearings in here for stirring, but I'm not hearing it. This is a pretty decent red. And we'll see how it goes. One other thing is that when it gets really late in the stream like this, and I've been doing this for a couple hours, it is not the best moment. It is not the best part of the stream, the time of the stream, to be attempting to do fine detail work. Just tired enough to be a little less steady than it should be. And it isn't even so much that it's shaky. You know, it's not like my hand is shaking. It's just that my aim is off. So I can very neatly paint a line where I don't want it. If you know what I mean. It's like, I want the paint to go there. And then it doesn't. Yeah, this is definitely, I shouldn't be doing this right now. Okay, the problem is that I got the paint all over where the speed paint is going to go later. And sometimes the speed paint is a little bit translucent. You know, this should be a really easy thing to paint right here. It's a nice raised edge. All I have to do is paint up to the edge. It does not stick my brush all over the tail. You know, all of those things that should be simple and straightforward, just at some point, the light on. Yeah, it's not aimed right. Okay, this is where I start whining, because this is where things just start malfunctioning. Things that most malfunction. Hands and fingers. At least it's not quite like Wednesday. Wednesday I started getting a hand cramp right near the end of the stream. That was uncomfortable. It didn't happen today. I was careful to hydrate before starting. This is just going very poorly. And what I should do is I should just stop, because I'm just making a mess of things. Okay, I just am. I'm not aiming the brush right. The paint is slopping around, and since I did the blue one, okay, I just know it's just late in the stream, and I am not able to maintain good aim with the brush. So I'm going to have to do a fair amount of pink touch-up on that one. But rather than continuing and just making myself have more and more work, I'm going to stop now and just sit for a second, lean back, and tell you about Dice and Dungeons, which is a group of friends and relatives who started playing Dungeons and Dragons over a year ago in a world created by our dungeon mistress, Alexis. And we stream our D&D campaign. There, see, that kind of thing. I almost broke the sword off. Our D&D campaign on 3 Sundays a month, starting at 2 Eastern Daylight Time. And anybody who watches this stream really should check us out. If you can't catch us with live chat on Sundays, you can catch previous episodes on YouTube, or even as a podcast. Digress a little bit. And you can see that's what happens if those lines were good, you would see how the red works against the pink. And I think if I'm looking at the same design here, imagine all these light blue lines are dark red on this one. That's going to be an okay red dragonkin. It'll be very paladin-y. And who plays 9s at Tabaxi Bard will love it. So, as our game progressed and became more and more elaborate, Alexis got a 3D printer, like one of those printers back there, and put these down so you can kind of see them if I don't break them. And we started printing dungeon tiles and little crates and trees and campfires and stuff that we introduced into our campaign. And that was all pretty cool. And then it got more and more elaborate, and the design of the dungeon tiles got more and more elaborate. You can see some of the stuff that we put together early on in the kind of scroll beneath me. There's a mimic and some barrels that aren't mimicking. Okay. And there's a necromancy lair. That one is blood magic, I guess, because the pool at the center is bloody. There's also a green one and a purple one. So it kept getting more and more elaborate, and now we're printing more and more. We do our own minifigs on a rosin printer, and that's how Relaxing Painting started, as we started painting the dungeon tiles that we were using on our stream, and decided that, well, why not? Let's go ahead and stream the painting of the dungeon tiles that we use on our stream. So it was a stream for a stream. And that's how Relaxing Painting with Dice and Dungeons got going and continues to this day. So I like to always demonstrate these. It's always fun to demonstrate them, even if you've seen this before. I'm going to set the pink one up out of the way. This one needs some washing. These are a single piece except for the base plate, and under the base plate are ball magnets, and they adhere to each other like magic. You don't need any special platforms or anything to work with these kinds of dungeon tiles. You can rearrange them any way you want so that they are highly versatile. Okay. And there's many different shapes. These are like painted but not washed, so they're kind of unfinished looking, but they're good for demonstrating how this all works. Yep. Yeah, so now when we get into a battle, we are often in a dungeon that's put together with these dungeon tiles. And we have these rough stone, we have cut stone, and we have half-timbered stucco wood-floored ones, which are really pretty when they're done. And there's little accessories too, like trapdoors and fireplaces and thrones, pillars, all sorts of stuff that goes along with them. So that's how relaxing painting started, was painting the tiles that we use for our stream. And then those of you who have been following this or just joining in, on Wednesdays I've been given permission to work on reliving some of my childhood by putting together other models. And I'm working on a Renwall submarine now. And the Renwall submarine was made in the 60s. I think the first one came out, I'm not sure, 63 or 5 or something like that, the first edition of the submarine. But it's a cutaway Polaris launching missile submarine, and it's very intricate and the parts don't fit. So it's been a significant challenge, let's just say that. There is the biggest challenge yet in the construction of the model coming up, because one of the parts doesn't fit at all. It's one of the floors, one of the decks for the control room. A significant piece is off by at least 3/32 of an inch. Which in a model with that much detail is a lot. So I'm going to have to be doing some miraculous fabricating. Way more complicated. Way more than I needed. And involved than fabricating a new hilt for one of these swords that it looks like I'm going to have to be doing. What I'm doing now is I'm just putting some... I really have to be careful near the end of these streams, is I'm just literally dabbing unevenly all over the surface of this gray base, some dark gray wash, to get rid of the uniform look. So it's just not so flat. And it lightens up a little bit as it dries, so it's not really as dark as it looks now, but what I want it to do is just puddle up. To be blobby. Potentially pool some here and there as I go around. This will be the last thing I do with paint today. As you saw just a little while ago, as the stream goes on, things get a little bit, I just, it isn't so much I lose focus, it's that I just can't maintain accuracy as I near the end of the stream. And so as I was attempting to paint the embellishments here, the red embellishment on the pink armor, it just was going everywhere. I mean, look, tail, just, rush control disappeared, we'll put it that way. And so I could have gone on, but I decided that rather than creating a mess that would take half of Monday to fix, I probably was better off just stopping, which I did. I talked myself into stopping, and I'll pick it up again on Monday. this guy then. Wash this brush, and we're going to wrap up by thanking all of you who watch this either live or on YouTube. If you can, become a follower. That would be hugely appreciated. If you can, become a sponsor. That would be hugely, hugely appreciated. If you... Oh my God. Yeah. Don't do it. I mean, what I need to learn is after 1:30, if assuming the stream goes on until 2, is don't touch anything that can break. Just don't. Don't attempt to paint anything that requires any more skill than being able to take a huge brush and go blah, spread it across. Because that's what happens. I couldn't even pick something up without dropping it. What I'm doing here now is looking in vain. I don't know why you say in vain. I'm looking on the work surface for that hilt that I broke off the sword before trying to fix it. Okay, so our dragonkin cluster, our dragonkin group continues to progress. We've got the metallic bronze one. It's supposed to be bronze, even though it looks sort of brassy. Anyway, it's not bad on camera. I like the way the armor came out. I like the shiny armor, with the embellishments. And there's the blue one. And you can see I'm using the same pattern of embellishments, more or less fairly well executed. Okay. And then this is the red one. The red one's coming next. And I started, and then the better part of Valor told me, no, don't try to do anything more today. And so I stopped it. You can see I started to paint the red embellishment on it just so I could get an idea of how it would look. And that's going to be okay. So this one's done. This one, as soon as the base dries, is done. And this one is started, and I should be able to actually finish it on Monday. If I don't make too many mistakes, by slopping paint all over in the wrong way. So yes, go to patreon.com/DiceAndDungeons, become a patron, and help support Dice and Dungeons not only in this relaxing painting stream, but also in its Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which streams with a live chat 3 Sundays a month at 2 o'clock Eastern. I will be back on Monday, at least I'm planning on it, more or less at 10 until only until 1:30 on Monday. I've got a 2 o'clock appointment I have to be at, so I'll be ending a little bit early on Monday. We'll see how far we get with the red dragonkin here. I do move along slowly compared to Nikki when she's streaming, but I'll be back on Monday more or less at 10 until a little before 1:30, working on the red dragonkin. And then after I'm done with the red one, which won't be on Monday, I'm going to move on to this one, and this one will either be green or black, because you have to get all the colors of the dragonkin in, and I don't know yet whether this is going to be green or black. And then this one will probably be the last one unless I find the hilt here after the stream. I'm going to search the floor. That's always fun, crawling around on the floor looking. Let me set these down so you can see them. So I'm going to search for it, and if I can find the hilt, I'm going to... Wait a second. Okay, I only broke one of the hilts off. Okay, I know that. I only broke the hilt off of this one. This one doesn't have one either. Okay. I didn't break that one off. I don't know. Okay, I've got some hilting to do. I have some hilt creating to do. on these two before I can move forward with them. I'm going to get into hilt mass production mode. Thank you for joining in. And on the missing hilt note, I will say goodbye. Have a good weekend. It's purely coincidental. If they're Power Ranger colors, it's purely coincidental because dragons are related to dragonkin are related to dragons, and dragons come in bronze, blue, red, green, and black. And if those happen to be the Power Ranger colors, then they will be, okay, whatever. If you want them to be, these are Power Ranger dragonkin. No, they're not. They're dragonkin. In the standard, okay, just there. That's it. I'm stopping now. It isn't going to get any better, so I'm going to stop now. See you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye.